when we're taking care of patients, we kind of have a certain way that we think about problems. What was the mindset that translated best to your leadership role? And what was the mindset that you had to change the most when you moved into an administrative or leadership role?
Great question. I think, everybody wants quality. Everybody wants the best for the patient. Sometimes you do have to know everything comes at a cost, right? So what's the best and what can provide care across the widest platform, but yet what's the cost benefit ratio? I think the hardest part for me being sort of an entrepreneur in private practice is if I make a decision, it happens tomorrow. We start as soon as we're ready to start. I'm in a really big organization. And so sometimes it has to run up the tree, so to speak, to get approval, get processes. Did this website meet quality standards? If it was me, I'd just put it up tomorrow, hire somebody, let's go. So I'm learning to just smile and nod, run it up the drain. So that's probably the biggest thing. But it's kind of like I live near the water. So I had a little boat. I can zip anywhere I want in the bay. Now I kind of feel like we're trying to move the Icon of the Seas, that mega cruise ship. And it's like a little turn at a time, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it's very different than being in an environment that allows you to do those kind of rapid tests of change, right?
On the flip side, there's a lot deeper bench of support, in our organization of 30,000 people. So the talent and the depth of support is massive. So higher quality when we're getting things done, for sure.
What was the area that you felt like you had been on the steepest learning curve since you took your new position? You sound like you felt very well prepared by Pemba in general, but was there a particular area that you really needed to dive into the most?
So alluding back to the fact that we're still a really young organization and realizing I don't have a lot of other leadership roles right now. So to this point, like I don't have department heads. I don't have chairs of surgery or general pediatrics. So finding a way back to the HR, how to make sure we're managing. When I first started the first 2 months, everybody was dumping everything in my bucket. So whether it was quality or whether it was, say, physician relation with nursing, it was all dumping into my bucket. And I thought, I cannot spend all day taking care of behavior. Just said, hey, this is how we're going to do it. It's going to be real quick. We're going to have a collegial intervention and then you're out of my bucket. And that's it. I'm going to tell you once, we're moving on. So I'm just very clear in communicating, because I think that was the hardest thing the first 3 months, thinking, I am not the mall cop. That is not what I'm here to. And I probably said this 100 times, is guys, we're here to have a bi-directional conversation. I'm going to tell you something. You give me feedback and then let's move on. We all agree we're here for quality, and we all agree we want to build a hospital. So let's go. Let's stop worrying about the little stuff and let's focus on the big targets. So I think those are some big wins. Those were hard wins. I think the first 3 months going, am I crazy? And especially because I didn't really have a strong leadership goal that said you had to do A, B, and C. And so, but it's been well received. I think we've had some great just improvement in quality, and the culture is really very positive.
That's great. So you mentioned at the very beginning of the interview that you're building the new hospital. When is that? Remind me when that's going to open again.
The hospital goal is 2030.
Okay. And is
4.5 years.
Is that going to be on your current campus, or is it going to be somewhat remote from your current campus?
It is on our current campus. We're bringing down a parking garage and then part of the current children's hospital. So there's some phased timing to that. That'll be interesting to see. We're working on site planning. That's probably the other part. Didn't realize all of a sudden we're doing design, construction, site planning, electrical engineering. So I'm sitting in all these meetings hearing about the infrastructure that goes into building a facility. It's absolutely incredible, the structure and the support needed, unlike anything else because of the safety regulations. So that's actually been really cool to get to see and have some input on what it's like to build a new OR and build new waiting rooms and patient facing areas and all those great things of where do you want this water fountain and all these things you think about in your daily life that sometimes we've had workarounds, but now you get to correct that for flow. It's been really exciting.